Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are Dr. Azparren Legarre and Dr. Celayeta Gil from the Public University of Navarra, and we are going to present a study that we have conducted recently, which is titled Fostering Successful EFL Teaching. Are course books a boost? And for doing so, we are going to follow the traditional structure of our presentation. Teaching materials lay at the core of both effective instruction and successful learning of foreign languages. Materials can either restrict teachers' creativity or foster the capacity to meet the specific circumstances of the learning process. However, several elements such as the age of learners, their interests and needs need to be taken into account by the teacher for those materials to be effective. Materials are also crucial to boost learners' motivation and confidence towards the learning of an EFL and can either enhance learning or limit it. Hence, teachers play an active role in selecting, adapting, and implementing materials that best fit the needs and interests of both teachers themselves and learners. Scarce research exists on the way English as a foreign language prospective teachers perceive teaching materials. Therefore, this study aims to contribute to this area of research by investigating EFL pre-service teachers' beliefs about didactic resources to find weak areas that may be preventing positive outcomes in the teaching and learning of EFL. As we have commented, there is a need for an adequate selection of materials and resources. Those materials should be learner-centered for them to be effective, and teachers should adapt and design materials that match the needs and interests of students. Therefore, it is important that pre-service teachers develop a criteria that allows them to select, adapt, and create materials that match the teaching needs. Two research questions motivated this investigation. What are EFL pre-service teachers' beliefs about the usefulness of course books for teaching and learning English effectively? And what are the didactic challenges that pre-service teachers are willing to take as EFL teachers regarding the use of course books? The context for this study was an EFL program at a university in Spain, teaching English as an EFL, and 84 EFL primary education teachers that were enrolled in the program were the participants of this investigation. A survey was designed for collecting data, and questions delved about participants' EFL past learning experience, about their beliefs about EFL teaching resources, and how they would use resources in the future as teachers themselves. A mixed methods approach was used to analyze data that combined quantitative and qualitative analysis of that data. The results obtained are the following. Regarding pre-service teachers' future instruction, the opinion of the participants about their course books of EFL were negative and positive. On the negative side, students highlighted that books focused mainly on grammar, vocabulary, and reading comprehension, and some more radical participants even affirmed that books were useless or are useless nowadays. However, some students said that they have very entertaining and educational activities, so they also saw the good points about them. Regarding future instruction, whether students thought they would create their own materials or not, they do have a firm objective of developing their own materials. 94% of the participants said so. So some of the opinions were, as we can see here, creating more dynamic and original materials beyond a sheet with questions can generate more motivation in the students. So they are fully aware of the impact of materials in the learners. Thinking about their previous learning experience, students were discussing about whether they liked their books or not. Most of them didn't like their books, didn't meet their interests. The structure was repetitive, not based on learning English for real life. But others also said that they were activities that I understood and enjoyed doing, despite they were almost every year the same. Thinking about the importance and the pertinence of books to work on productive skills, some students said that they included useful tips, model essays, even though books alone are not enough to develop these skills. So they also see the importance of developing skills and not only language content through the materials. 80% thought they were not good to practice productive skills. For example, they said that they included closed topics which didn't take into account the current interests of students, and they were obsolete in many cases. Thinking about the pertinence of the materials and the resources used in EFL, 69% of students thought they were adequate, as they encompass everything. They include pronunciation, not only grammar and vocabulary, and they include authentic materials, but 31% of the participants didn't think so. As some of them highlighted, they were not very motivating. Regarding the conclusions of this research, we can say that there's a correspondence between the participants' perceptions about the materials regarding adequacy, pertinence, and relevance, and the literature reviewed. Students do demand authentic materials based on real-life situations and useful pieces of language of the target language. Participants perceived an evolution on materials regarding design, contents, methodology, but they believe that further action needs to be taken for materials to be effective. So they do also think that teachers have an active role in the implementation of materials in order for them to be successful. Some learners still perceive traditional course books as a helpful tool in the learning process, so that guides us towards an eclectic methodology combining different types of approaches. So all in all, there's still a need for future research in this field and, of course, for teacher training. Thanks a lot for your attention.